Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here, joined by Noah Ruen, a draft pick from last summer's draft, and super excited. A right-hander who throws from, I don't know if you want to call it submarine. What do you call it there, Noah? Is it kind of side slot? What do you call that?
I just call it sidearm.
Sidearm? Yeah, very cool. When I first saw it, I was like, wow. Then I found out you were from the Austin area. Went to Tyler, Texas, a place that I've been to many different times. Very excited about that, and then saw how good you were. Plus, cool, as you grew up, Jeff Kent was your coach growing up in your travel teams, is that right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, so talk about some of some of those teams. I know it was your basically from 10U to 15U, Jeff Kent coached you, so talk about some of those teams and your background in the game of baseball.
So I started out playing with my dad, actually, and then Jeff Kent had to try out, and of course, going to go try out and everything. He didn't have enough kids to build his team, so he merged what he had with my dad's team, and Jeff Kent ended up taking over. I played second base and right field for him. Pitched here and there, I was mainly right fielder though. But he was a tough coach. He was a good, tough coach, I bet you can imagine.
He was the same type of coach that was player, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
you guys must have been pretty dang good because you were like an all-state shortstop, top 100 Texas shortstop in high school. And you say you played right field, so you guys must have had some pretty elite talent.
I'd say I kind of jumped up later than most kids would have, so it was kind of, I struggled in the middle infield at that time, and then so he pushed me, so I was in the outfield. I was good enough at outfield, and his son was really good at short, and we had another second baseman that was better than me at the time.
Okay, so you were a Texas top 100 in batting average, which if you've ever seen the, especially in the Austin area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, any Houston area, really anywhere in Texas, but especially when you get into the metro areas like that, San Antonio, the baseball is just absolutely elite. So be a Texas top 100 in anything is just absolutely unbelievable. But the way I understand it, as good as you were in high school, you played shortstop there for Coach Grissom at Leander. But as good as you were, you didn't have a whole lot of offers coming out, so you ended up at Tyler Community College, correct?
Yes, sir.
So talk about that time playing for Coach Grissom as a Lion and then your decision to go to Tyler.
Well, Coach Grissom's a great coach. He really treated all of us like his own, really. So, great guy. Cared about us all the time. For Coach Grissom, I played shortstop. That's when I was shortstop. Started at third. He moved me to shortstop later on. And when I wasn't the starting pitcher, I'd be at short. So, either starting pitcher or shortstop. And then after I pitched, I'd go to short, of course. So, a lot throwing, but that gave me a lot of opportunities to, increase my batting average because I was hitting no matter if I was pitching or at short. I made a lot of lifelong friends on that team. Had a great time. We broke a losing record. The team was on a streak of never making playoffs for a while, and we were the first team in a while to make playoffs.
Okay, so you're a submarine you call a sidearm type pitcher. I'm sure your experience playing third base and shortstop, with all the different arm angles, did that kind of help with that transition?
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly it. You hit it on the money. I played shortstop, and my slot was the same it is now from shortstop, but over the top at the mound. So my coach came up to me one day and just kind of asked me why I don't just go sidearm off the mound. Why don't I be more athletic, be more myself on the mound like I am at short? So it slowly transitioned, got more used to it, and then became what it is now.
Yeah, and you were committed to play for K-State. Very familiar with Pete Hughes. He came to OU from Virginia Tech, and then he was at OU for a while, then went to Kansas State. Awesome head coach, so I know, their entire coaching staff, I know you were drawn to their pitching coach. So talk about committing to K-State and that whole recruiting process.
So at the time, I was getting calls from a lot of different schools, a lot of different people trying to make connections with me, trying to persuade me to go. But funny story is I actually told Kansas State no off the bat.
Oh, really?
Before I accepted to go up there and visit, before I accepted the visit, I told him no. And then Coach Darrow at the time, he reached back out, gave me a bunch of reasons on why I should reconsider, really connected with me. And that's when I learned that he threw sidearm like I do.
Oh, he did. Very cool.
Yeah, so that kind of pushed me to go on a visit and learning more and eventually committing there.
Fantastic. So, okay, Leander is like kind of an outskirt of Austin, correct?
Yes.
So how in the world did you not end up being a UT fan?
I don't know. My family's just never liked UT that much. You know, we just always been fans of A&M over them.
Oh, so you're A&M. Okay.
Yeah.
So you grew up in the Austin area, an A&M fan. How'd that work out for you?
Not very good. Everyone else is UT fans.
I know all about it because I grew up in Stillwater, and when there was an OU fan in Stillwater, it was an interesting situation. So I can only imagine what that. And by the way, UT has a big game tonight. And as an Oklahoma State fan, I really hope they beat Tech because I want to play them in the Big 12 championship game if OSU wins that game. Okay, drafted 12th round. So talk about the draft process. Did you know that you were going to get drafted? Talk about draft day and all that.
So I knew I was going to get drafted. Didn't know when. I had a bunch of guesses, but honestly, all the guesses they gave me were completely wrong. I was pretty nervous that day, so I was doing anything I could to not think about it. We had it up on the TV. We had the draft up on the TV going on, and if I received a call, I'd stop what I was doing. But during the time, I was either watching Netflix or I was shopping for some golf items.
Talk about your pitch mix. I know you have the sidearm, and that gives you some pretty good run, probably really effective against right-handers. But talk about where your mix is at, what the Dodgers have done to you since you since you came into the system, and where you're headed with it in the future.
So I came into the system with a sinker, a slider, and I was developing a changeup at the time. They dropped my changeup completely and had me add a cutter. The cutter was to help me out with left-handed hitters and everything, try to keep them off from leaning over the plate and just trying to slap my fastball the other way.
Yeah.
So I use my sinker, slider against righties. Never use a cutter against them because I have pretty much the ideal movement against a right-handed hitter. It's going to be really hard to hit the sweeper moving away and then a hard fastball coming in. And then the cutter, for lefties, I like to get the cutter up and in, keep them from leaning, and then sliders, back doors, back foot, and then fastballs for out pitches.
Did you have all the gadgets at Tyler? The Rapsodos and the Trackman and all that, or was it all that new to you when you came to the Dodgers?
I've used it all before. We didn't have it at Tyler, but the guy I work with here, he has a Trackman and he pulls it up all the time. So I was used to it all, used to all the data and everything, just never used it consistently like I have with the Dodgers.
So is that something that you use quite a bit now that you're with the Dodgers, or is that something that only maybe if you're not throwing exactly the way you want, or how does that work?
Every time I'm on the mound, there's a Trackman on. Every single time. We pitch and they cut the video of us pitching, pitch by pitch, tells us our movement, our velo, and everything, and we get it either the night that we pitched or the morning after.
Had you ever been out west to California?
I went a few times. We took a vacation there once or twice, but nothing crazy out to California. Never been to Arizona.
Yeah.
Being in Arizona was something else. The heat, the dry, just everything is different beast.
Yeah, it's crazy because Austin, probably in the summer it gets up over 100 probably for 30 or 40 days. But the heat in Arizona affected you, huh? You could feel it?
Yeah, completely different. I went from the Cape Cod and went down to Arizona, and it's like another world.
Oh, so you went straight from the Cape to Arizona?
Yeah, I had a week or two back here in Austin before I went, so didn't really get adjusted to the weather here in Texas before I went.
Okay, so Rancho, man, what'd you think? But that's a pretty cool area. It's about an hour outside of LA. It's right there in the mountains. The weather's great. So I'm sure, that was like almost a surreal experience for you. Yeah,
it was a great spot. The background of our field was mountains. So very pretty area, great people. And it was great to play on that team. Everyone was working towards the same thing, winning it all. And everyone was from different backgrounds. So it was interesting to see it all come together and everyone really focused, even with the language barrier.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then, you're sitting there, you had such a great experience because you performed so well. But was there ever that moment, of course, you're coming from a community college, so straight into professional baseball, not just that, but one of the most iconic organizations, not in baseball, but of all sports. So you have to be sitting there going, holy cow, I can't believe Noah Ruen, a guy from Austin, I'm standing here on a professional mound, right? So you probably had that moment. Then you probably also had the moment that, hey, you know what? I'm good enough to do this, because obviously you had a lot of success. So did you have those two types of moments?
I mean, I've always expected the best out of myself. So when I got there, I try not to think about it. Of course, whenever I get on that mound, I'm zoning in, not thinking about anything, clear-minded. But after the fact, it's like, wow, I got this ball in my hand. Wow, I just pitched in a professional game. It's a crazy experience.
So you're back in Austin right now?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yep. So what's your off-season routine going to be like?
Right now, it's I wake up, I go throw at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. whenever the guy I'm working with is available. And right after that, come back, eat, and then I go lift and run.
Okay, message for kids. You're out there and you're living your dream. You've always wanted to be a pitcher and that type of things. So for kids that want to get into your position and be a professional someday, what is your message for them?
I tell them don't stress about it. Just have fun, work hard, and if it's in God's plan, it'll happen.
Man, how in the world did you get this just relaxed but super humble? I mean, the Dodgers, they find guys like you that are just super confident but super humble and then really chill. So where did all that come from? I mean, somebody had to teach you that, right?
Well, probably comes from a lot of, I've been on the lower end of baseball and the higher end, been up and down my whole life. So I know what it's like to not be the best on the team and what it's like to be the best on the team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, man, you ready to answer some fun questions so Dodgers fans can get to know you a little bit better?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is the coolest thing that has ever happened to you on a sporting field, practice or game?
Well, I'd have to brag on myself a little bit here.
Okay.
It's how I was junior college and in season, whenever I went 40 innings and only gave up 1 run. I ended up giving up that 1 run the last inning of my last conference game. So it was a big bummer that game, but that was a pretty great streak.
And knowing the amount of confidence you have, you're more surprised that you gave up the 1 run than you did going the 39 innings without giving up 1, right?
Yeah. I was expecting to go another 2 innings without giving up 1, and I gave up that 1.
That is awesome. Okay, what is your favorite memory in sports?
Okay, when I was 9, I played up on my brother's 11U team, and we were at a field called League of Dream in League City, Texas. So I was playing up for them, and I ended up being the only guy that got on base. I watched 4 straight balls, got on first base, pass ball, stole second, and the kid hit a ground ball to the shortstop, and I'm at second. I'm running to third, and I truck the shortstop and get to the third. And the umpire ended up calling me safe. Probably should have been out, interference and all, but ended up being called safe. As a 9-year-old kid, that's a pretty special experience, trucking a 11-year-old.
That's bragging rights right there, isn't it? What is something funny that has happened to you lately?
We're going to go back to golf on this one. I told you I'm good at golf, but I'm going to put it into perspective here. So I'm on hole 10. Hole 10. It's a straight green, straight as can be. I'm driving off the tee box. I hit it. Goes straight over to hole 11, which is like 45 degrees to my right or something.
Was it bad enough to actually get on that fairway so you had a shot?
It hit the tee box. The guy's teeing off the tee box. It went straight in front of them. They turned and looked at me, throw their hands up. And I'm like, all right, that's not going to happen again. I aimed straight left, hit it again, went straight back at them.
Twice in a row?
Twice in a row.
Oh, Lord, that's whenever you look at your partner and you go, hey, man, that wasn't a very good shot, right?
Hey,
okay.
Even with that happening, that was my better day at golf.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, what is your strangest superstition?
I don't really believe in superstitions. I mean, my brother likes to say, if you believe in superstitions, then you can't even talk about the superstition.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense. that makes it too simple right there, doesn't it, Noah? Okay, so obviously you don't believe in baseball gods?
No, I just believe in only one God. my Lord and Savior.
Oh, fantastic. That is awesome. Hey, man, this is your, to get in the position you're in, to be a professional pitcher, to have all the high school success, all the college success, just to see this personality that you have here, all the confidence, like I mentioned, being humble, though, and then, all your faith that you have. There had to have been a lot of people along the way that have helped develop you. So this is your time to thank whoever you want to thank.
Yeah, I mean, I really only have to thank two people. There's a long list of people I like to thank, but I'm not going to go down that road right here. But the two people I like to thank are my dad and my mom. I mean, they've been with me since day one, obviously, and have shown me the road. Actually, I'd like to add one more person to that. My older brother. Being able to compete with him my whole life, it's really like giving me the steps to strive to be better. It's helped me compete to another level.
Fantastic, Noah. Hey, man, I know it's Thanksgiving and you're a big family guy, so this is, you're getting to spend time with your family, and so this is super kind of you to spend some of that time so Dodgers fans can get to know you a little bit better. So I'm going to let you go and let you get back to your family and maybe your golf game, if you got one of those coming up, and hopefully this isn't the last time we'll talk.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Okay, thank you, Noah. We'll talk to you.